a down and dirty, oven-ready lasagna here in Vince's kitchen. Let's put a baseline down. There's 4 parts to making a lasagna, or even baking pasta for that matter, especially if you're involving ricotta cheese. So the first part of it is actually the Bolognese. The Bolognese is basically a meat sauce. Now what I'm doing is I'm taking my marinara recipe, and I'll put a description or a link down in the description to my marinara sauce video. However, there's a little spin to that. We're gonna add meat. So a Bolognese is essentially just a meat sauce with the marinara. And there's different styles of Bolognese. However, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take roughly about a pound of ground beef, roughly about a pound of sweet Italian sausage, get that all browned up. Once that serves as a base, then I'll go ahead and start adding the onions and doing our marinara sauce like we did in the previous episode. So once we have our Bolognese down and set, then we have to work on the ricotta. The ricotta cheese, basically, we're going to put together. We're going to use some fresh, about a cup of parsley, roughly about a pound of ricotta cheese, some salt, some pepper. We're going to integrate some Parmesan cheese in that as well. And then we're going to take some of our marinara or our Bolognese sauce, and we're going to take a spoonful of that and integrate that within the ricotta cheese. Basically, just kind of bring all of that sauce and that meat flavor into the ricotta. So we have our Bolognese, we have our ricotta cheese. Now we have the assembly. Now what I'm going to be using real quick is just this oven-ready lasagna, which basically is ready to go. One of the things that I did find regarding this lasagna, though, it is a little thin, so we're going to double up on some of the layers, and I'll show you how to do that once we get going. So after we've assembled our lasagna and we've layered everything, we've used the mozzarella cheese, we've got the marinara, the Bolognese, the ricotta, and everything and dialed in, we're going to be baking it at roughly 375 for about 25 minutes, right? With the foil cover on. Once we remove that, another 25 minutes to get that nice crusty, brown, cheesy yumminess going. And then we'll actually let it sit for about 10 minutes before serving. The Bolognese going, what's going to happen is we're going to tear into a pound of ground beef. We're going to get the burner going on high. And we're just going to go ahead and get the ground beef in there. We're going to break that up. We're going to season it. Salt, pepper. And then we're going to break down some sweet Italian sausage. We're going to remove the skins, and we're going to go ahead and get that sausage going in there as well. My personal preference is to remove the skins. Get that going. Okay, so I've got my ground beef and my sausage cooking up inside the pot. And I'm breaking it down, making sure that it cooks all the way through and it browns all the way through. We're going to use roughly about 4 cans of tomato sauce. And then we're going to go ahead and leverage some diced tomatoes as well. And we're going to season it all up. Now I've got a whole plethora of seasonings. Whether or not I'm going to use them all, I seriously doubt it. But I'm going to be adding a little twist and putting in some dried tomatoes. So hang tight. Let me get this going. Let me get those jars of tomatoes open, and we'll get it all together and get that sauce boiling. So the seasonings that I used were basically the Italian seasoning. I added about a tablespoon of pesto. The meat is browning up just nice. So let's go through the seasoning. Some granulated garlic, salt, pepper, a tablespoon of pesto, a big heaping tablespoon of sun-dried tomatoes. Let's see, salt, pepper, oregano, and basil. Now I don't have fresh basil, so I used what was available, some dried basil. I added roughly about a half an onion diced, and I also added 7 cloves of garlic. The reason why I've got so much flavor in there is because I want it to integrate with the ricotta cheese. So once it integrates and it gets going, then the flavor will just basically bounce throughout the entire lasagna. So everything's cooked up nice. The onions are nice and translucent. I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring in the diced tomatoes. And then I'm gonna thin this out a little bit by adding roughly about 2 to 3 cups of water. Now the reason why I'm making so much sauce is because this is actually going to go into, not only am I making a lasagna dish for you guys right now, but I'm also going to be doing baked pasta shells, which is one of my favorite dishes growing up. My grandmother would make that, and I would just go nuts. That was one of my favorite meals that my grandmother would cook. And so I'm really glad that I learned how to do that and make that dish. Because every time that dish, I'm splattering everywhere. Every time I make that dish, it reminds me of my nonna. So we're gonna get that up to a boil. And you can see all of the flavors just bounce. Now this is a big pot of sauce. But once all those flavors start to integrate and get all heated up, it's gonna be on fire. It's gonna be amazing. Oh, speaking of fire, I did add roughly about a tablespoon and a half to maybe about 2 tablespoons of chili peppers just to bring it up a notch. I gotta have that heat on the back end. Anyways, so give me a few minutes. Let's get this boiled up. Then we'll get into the ricotta cheese. Okay, so we're at the point of the video where I have to toast to my Bolognese. So roughly about a cup of red wine for the Bolognese, and then of course an undetermined amount for the chef. So, oh wait, hold on. That was a short pour. That's good stuff. So our Bolognese sauce came to a boil. I've reduced the heat to a low simmer on the electric oven. Low, about a 1.5, maybe 2. As the heat starts to come down, we're gonna let that simmer for about 45 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the ricotta. All right, so we're at phase 3. All right, so we've got the Bolognese going. Actually, I'll take that back. We're at phase 2 because this is the ricotta. Then phase 3 is the assembly, and then phase 4 is the cooking. So phase 1, right? First step, get our Bolognese going. It's on a low heat, stirring occasionally, making sure that we get all of those flavors integrated. Just as a matter of fact, let's just do it. Just because. Let's do a quick taste test and find out how this bad boy is doing. Oh, God, looks amazing. Oh yeah. That'll make your eyes roll to the back of your head, that's for sure. Oh, that's amazing. Oh, that's really good. All right. So that'll continue to simmer. So let's get to the ricotta. Let's get down to the down and dirty part, right? So got myself roughly, what size is this? Maybe a pound. It says 15 servings. Net weight 32 ounces. So 2 pounds of ricotta cheese. It's about what's going to go into the lasagna, right? Then I've got roughly about a half a cup, maybe a little over half a cup of parsley, right? Italian parsley. Let me grab some salt and pepper. And you don't have to be too heavy-handed. Just a little bit there. A little bit of black pepper to get that going. Right? And we'll grab ourselves a fork. Actually, better yet, let me grab a spatula, because we're going to be folding in some of the sauce. And that includes the meat too. So grab a nice ladleful and just pour that directly on top. Right? Then take your ladle and just work it all together. Just get it all mixed in there, all together. Get it all folded in. The ricotta, yes, because of the heat, the ricotta will begin to liquefy a little bit. But once you get it all integrated and all mixed in, you pop it in the refrigerator to get it cooled down. And then you layer it when we start the assembly. Now, we still have roughly about 30 minutes on the spaghetti sauce, on the Bolognese. So that'll give it plenty of time for the ricotta to thicken up and ready to layer. We are getting to the point where we are going to assemble our lasagna. Again, I have no affiliation with the with this particular brand. However, I don't have to boil this pasta. Now, I have done it a couple of times where I've layered it in singles, just like that. However, it's too thin. I found that it was too thin for my liking. So what I did is I just doubled up on the layers just like that by cross out, you know, just adding so on and so forth. So let's go ahead and get this party started. I've got some pre-grated mozzarella cheese. It just makes life a lot easier. It's from one of the big box stores. So I doubt we'll get through the entire bag. However, this is going to be amazing. So the first layer is what we're going to do is we're just going to put some sauce as a base. So I'll grab my ladle. And we'll grab a little sauce, and then we'll go ahead and we'll layer in our pasta, just like that. Then we take some of our ricotta cheese. All right. I'm going to go ahead while we're doing this I'm going to go ahead and preheat the oven for 375. All right. Now, here's the thing. Here's the beautiful part about a lasagna. If you want to put in pepperoni, if you want to layer in some hard-boiled eggs, the sky's the limit. I'm going to try to get 3 layers out of this. It's a shallow pan, but we shall see what happens. So I'm going to layer in, again, just repeat. A little bit of sauce, right? And then we should be able to get 3 layers. And then just like so, right? And then some ricotta. Right? Just like that. Get that layered in just like that, right? Some mozzarella cheese. Right? Just like that. And then one more layer of pasta. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put some little bit more sauce on that. Now, one of the things that I did forget is I did forget to add the Parmesan cheese, but that's okay. It's not a necessary ingredient. It just adds that one extra layer of flavor, so to speak. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to get another layer of sauce on that. Now that's full to the brim. That is definitely 3 layers. We're going to go ahead and we're just going to throw a monster handful of mozzarella cheese over the top of that. Oh, and it's overflowing. It's going to be amazing. Let me grab a cookie sheet. That way we don't make a big mess. We're going to do that. That way any spillage won't... we're going to add some more mozzarella, of course. Just get it onto the corners. And just a mountain of cheese. We love cheese. And then, because I forgot to integrate the Parmesan, we're just going to go ahead and put the Parmesan cheese just like that. So when the oven comes up to temperature, 375, right? We're going to cook it for 25 minutes with a tinfoil topping. And then we're going to take it off for another 25 minutes. And then we're going to cook it so that the cheese gets nice and brown. So let me grab that tinfoil. Cover it. And then we'll be placing that in the oven. All right, so timer's been on for 25 minutes after the first rotation. We removed the tin foil. So trying to, well, get my bearings. Like I said, bottle of wine into it. Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh, it's got that beautiful crust on it. We'll go ahead and put that there. Let's go ahead and shut everything off. So we're going to let that lasagna, look at that cheese. Look at that beautiful crust. Everything is there. We got the ricotta. We have the Parmesan cheese over the top. Yes, I know. I party foul. I forgot to put the Parmesan cheese in the ricotta mix, but that's okay. It's not going to affect the flavor in any way, shape, or form. We have that cheese just melting over the top. So we're going to let that sit for about 10-15 minutes. Let's go ahead and grab our dish. And let's serve this bad boy up. So we could probably get some
Looks like about 9 pieces out of this dish. Just look at that. Oh, that just cheesy. Oh, gooey. Goodness. It's just, I'm gonna have an issue just trying to spoon this out onto the plate. This is okay. So I'm grabbing about 2 servings here. We're having some technical difficulties. Oh, look at that cheesy mess. Oh, bummer. Probably should have let it sit for a little bit longer, maybe another 5 minutes or so it could solidify. But you know what? Irrespective of the presentation factor, this is going to be amazing.
I know the flavor's there. I know there's a lot of cheese there. There's just a lot of gooiness. Yeah, I get it. This isn't like your restaurant, but this is cooking from home. This is what. Oh, the ricotta, the pasta, everything's just cooked perfectly. Super cheesy. But you can taste the Italian parsley in there. Oh. The sauce, and then you get the crunchiness. The crunchiness from the overcooked cheese. That's the crispiness. It's a messy, cheesy gooiness. But you know what? This is a home run. Like I said, I make my mistakes. I'm here to make the mistakes so you don't have to. Let it sit for another 10-15 minutes. Let the cheese get, a little more solidified. This is a great dish. You invite a couple friends over. Well, in my case, 1 bottle of wine. You may need about 3 or 4 bottles of wine, to entertain your guests. The taste and the flavor is definitely there. I'll see you guys in just a second. Hey, hope you got something out of this week's episode. Definitely like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, leave your comments down below. I need your comments. So comment down below. I will put more information in the description. Thanks for coming to my party. Love you, mean it.